Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Alertus Power Lunch, AlertAware Activator training. My name is Brooke, and I am a trainer here at Alertus, and this session will equip you with the knowledge and skills to effectively activate your system from the AlertAware mobile application and web portal, which will enable your team to manage and activate alerts quickly and efficiently in any situation. So this training is intended for AlertAware admins or owners, and we will walk you through the AlertAware activation methods and available reports. This also is an interactive session, so please make sure to ask any questions you have in the chat or Q&A feature. And please be aware that the session is also being recorded for training purposes. So without further introduction, I'll send it over to Sarah.
Awesome. Thank you, Brooke. I will go ahead and share my screen here so that we can take a look at my AlertAware web portal. I'm just logging in with my owner account, but if you're set up as an admin in the system, you should also see largely the same thing when you do log in here. So we'll be going over these two activation methods today, the one-touch activations and also the custom activations. And for most of the time, I'll be showing this web portal here just because the screen is larger and it's easier to see. But if you are using the mobile application and you're logged in as an owner or an admin in your phone, you will also have the same functionality to send one-touch and custom activations from your phone if that's ever needed. But there are these two activation methods. They're different options because they might be helpful for some different scenarios. So we'll definitely talk about that today. But this one-touch activation, if you're familiar with the Alertus system, it's kind of like a preset activation. So it's essentially an alert that's been created ahead of time so that you can send it really quickly if it's needed for a particular scenario, like a fire or intruder lockdown, something like that. And then this custom activation can be really helpful if you do have a little bit more time and you do want to send something out that is more customized. It will let you send a fully customized alert out to the system. And so we'll take a look at both of those options today. But we'll start with the one-touch activation. So to activate the system, you'll just click on that one-touch button on the home page here. You can also access this page from the left-hand side navigation bar. Under this notification section, you can click on the one-touch tab. But this page will show you all of the one-touch alerts that you do already have created. And you can also create new one-touch activations by clicking Create One-Touch Activation at the top right. But we're going to send one I already have created for just a system test as an example. All you'll need to do is come here and find the alert that you want to activate. You can edit it if you'd like, clicking those three dots and then clicking Edit. You can also delete it if needed. But to activate, you'll just click that orange Activate button. And from this confirmation page, you'll get some more information. So you'll be able to see the alert's title as well as the message content. Mine just says this is a test, no action is needed. And this note here just lets you know that if you are sending an SMS text, then the notification content is just going to be limited to the first 160 characters. Just to kind of keep the size down, but the notification content is not limited for voice, email, or push notifications. You can also see I have a poll included, which we'll take a look at after I send this. I can also see the recipients. I'm targeting my building one group with this alert that has 2 users in it. I can also see that this is not a critical alert since it's just a system test, but I'll show you when we build out a custom activation. If you have something designated as a critical alert, it would basically let the alert override your default phone behavior. So even if your users or recipients had their phone muted, it would still be able to play a tone for those push notifications coming in. You can also see if you have the comments box shown or hidden. The comments box would just let people type in a comment as they're confirming the alert. And then I can see my delivery methods here. So I'm sending this out with an SMS text, a voice call, and a push notification to my mobile phones. And I can also see the duration here. I just have this set to expire after an hour in the system. So I'm going to go ahead and click yes to send it out. It will tell me the activation has been successfully sent. So I can say okay and close this up. And then I will show you how we will get the alerts coming into my phone. I'm just going to pull this over here. I'm getting that voice call from AlertAware that I can answer and put on speakerphone so you can hear it.
Message from Alerta's training team. This is a test. No action is needed. Please respond with one of the following options.
And this is my poll
For I
responses.
understand, press 1. For I need more information, press 2.
I'm going to say I understand.
Thank you. Goodbye.
So that's how the voice call would work. And then I can also show you, I did get the push notification and the text. I'm just going to pull it up so that you can see here. There is that text message coming from AlertAware and also the push notification for the system test. So with the text, you're able to open it up and then you're able to answer the poll by clicking that link at the bottom. It will bring you to this site where you're able to select from either of those poll responses. I put in either I understand or I need more information. You can select it and then submit your answer. And then once that's submitted, I did also want to show you for the push notification. You also have the same option to open up that push notification. And then it will bring you to the AlertAware app, where you're also able to respond to the poll if there is one, and then also confirm that you did see the alert. So I will submit that answer there as well. So that is essentially how to send a one-touch activation and how all of those different delivery methods would show up on your end users or your recipients' phones. But now that we've sent out that one touch, I also wanted to take a look at our other activation option, which is this custom activation. So while the one-touch activations have been built out ahead of time, this custom activation page will let you build out something new that you might not already have saved already. So just as an example, I'm just going to send an evacuation alert out to building 1. So for my title, I'm going to name it, let's see, evacuation, building 1. And then the notification content is just going to be whatever message that you want to send. I'm just going to say an evacuation order is now in effect for building 1. Proceed to the nearest exit and await further instructions. You can, of course, have this say whatever message you'd like to send out. There are also some options here that you can attach either variables or prompts or a file to this alert. If you do click Insert Variable, this would go into the message. You're able to pull in variables like the activation date. You can also tell who sent this. So I would be able to tell which user sent this alert out. And then you could also pull in your organization name if you wanted to include that in your message automatically. And then there are also some cool options for prompts. One that's really helpful is if you click this Alertus message prompt. If you were activating AlertAware from Alertus, you would be able to pull in whatever Alertus message you're using. But since I'm activating this from AlertAware, I wouldn't need that option. And then this is where you also have the option to attach a file. So if I did want to attach, say, an evacuation map or evacuation instructions, I'd be able to pull that in here. And then this create a poll option is where you would create a poll. If you do want to add poll responses, you can just list them out here so people would be able to select from them. But I'm not going to create a poll for this one. It is optional. And then once we have that, the next section here is where we get to pick our recipients. So we could select all to send it to all of our AlertAware recipients and users. You could also pick a group, which is what I'm going to do. Since this is for an evacuation in building 1, I'll just pick my building 1 group and select that. You could pick multiple groups if needed, and you can also pick individual recipients or individual users. The difference between recipients and users is that recipients don't have the AlertAware app, so they're just able to get SMS, text, voice, and email notifications. Your users are going to be the people that do have the AlertAware app downloaded on their phone, so they would be able to get push notifications in addition to all of those other delivery methods. But I'm going to leave it with just that building 1 group that does have 2 users in it. I'm gonna let them leave a comment, but you can also check this box if you do want to hide the comment box if you don't want people to have to monitor any comments coming in from people receiving those alerts. Then the next section is just specifying the events and duration. Selecting an event is optional, but it could be helpful if, for example, there is a natural disaster like a hurricane that involved you sending out multiple alerts related to that one event. You can sort of group them under that event, which can be helpful for record keeping, just keeping those activation reports organized. But I'm not going to include an event for this one. You do also have the option to set the duration here in hours. Since it's just a building evacuation, I'll have it expire in an hour. And this icon is just the icon associated with the alert. If you did save it as a one-touch to be able to reuse it, we do have an evacuation icon that I might want to pull in there. And then the last step here is specifying your delivery methods. So these are the ways that alert is going to be sent out. I'm going to select a push notification. I want to send it to my phone, but instead of using the default phone behavior, I'm going to select to have this chime play to really get everyone's attention. You can select any of these audio options and then click the speaker to preview. And then I am also going to designate this as a critical alert to show you what that will look like. But essentially, if your users have opted in to receive critical alerts, if something is marked as a critical alert, it will override their default phone settings. So even if their phone was muted or on silent, they would still get the alert coming in with that audible tone that we selected. And then just to show you what it would look like to also activate some other types of devices, if you do have an Alertus integration set up with AlertAware, you are also able to activate your Alertus system from here. You'll just check Alertus and then you're able to pull in any of the Alertus preset alerts that you want to activate. I do have a preset alert in Alertus that's already set up for an evacuation in building 1. So I'm just going to select that one so we can see all of my Alertus devices being activated as well. And then once you have all of those settings, there are 3 different options at the bottom here. You could just go ahead and activate it now. You do also have the option to schedule the activation. You can select whatever day and time if you'd want that to go out in the future, say before like a planned system outage or downtime. And you do also have the option from here to go ahead and just save this as a new one-touch template or one-touch activation if you do want to be able to just reuse it and send it from that one-touch page that we looked at. But I'm not going to save this for now. I'm just going to go ahead and activate it right away. So I'll click activate. I'll get that same confirmation page where I can see this information here. And then I'll just click yes to go ahead and send that out. It will tell me the activation was successful again. And then we'll be able to see our devices going off momentarily. So I activated my Alertus system with that evacuation preset alert, as you can see behind me. So I did get all of that. And then I did get the desktop alert showing up as well. And I'm not sure if you were able to hear it, but I did get that critical alert tone playing on my phone. And then I can just pull it up here to show you I also got the push notification. So that's how we can activate with a custom activation in AlertAware. I'm just going to come back into my Alertus system here just to cancel the Alertus alert. So that will stop all of the devices behind me from going off as well. But now that we have sent out those alerts, I do want to take a look at some of the reports that are available, just so that we can make sure that everything was sent out and delivered successfully. So to look at your activation reports, you can do that if you come to this notification section and then click on activations. So this will be able to show you the status for the alerts that have been sent out. So for example, here's the system test. I can also see the evacuation building 1 that we just sent. I can see a bunch of previous alerts here as well. It will tell you the status, either if it failed, if it was successful, or even if it was partially successful. And then you can also click on each alert to get more information. So as an example, I'll click on this evacuation building 1 alert that we did just send. So I can come over to the users tab to see the delivery status for each of the users that I targeted. So I can see here that I sent this just to myself and that it was successful. I can also come to the confirmations tab to see if my recipients or my users did confirm the push notification. I did not confirm it for that evacuation that I did just send out, but I did confirm it for the system test. If we take a look in here, you'll be able to see which of your users did confirm that message. And you can see that I sent this to myself with a push notification, the SMS text and the voice call. And I only confirmed the voice call and the text, not the push notification. So that will show up here with a lot of detailed information for each user. And then if you did include a poll, you'll be able to see the poll responses from this responses tab. So this is where I can see if I responded to the poll and what I said. So for example, I can see that I responded here saying that I need more information with the SMS text. And then from the voice call, I responded with something different saying, I understand. So if you did target the same person with multiple delivery types, you'll be able to see their response for each delivery type that you sent. And then this last tab here, this devices tab, will give you information specific to each device. So I can see that I have myself listed here several times since I targeted myself in several different ways. Also with 2 accounts, Sarah Gillum and Sarah Reeder are both just multiple AlertAware accounts I created for myself. But you'll be able to see if the delivery was successful for each of your users here. And then I did just want to go back quickly to this building 1 evacuation. Because I targeted Alertus as well, I have an integrations button showing up here. So this is where you're able to see if you did send to an integration like Alertus, you're able to see the alert that was sent out in Alertus. This is telling me that I didn't choose to override the Alertus preset alert text. I just sent the text that is in that preset alert. I would have had the option if I wanted to override it with the AlertAware text as well, and then I would see a check there. But those are the activation methods and the activation reports in AlertAware. I did also want to show you a couple of other reports that are available in this AlertAware system. So if you do notice, there is a reports tab under this analytics section. So if you click on reports, there are some default reports that you can see. For example, you're able to see the daily activations for these times here. You can also see the number of incidents that you have as well. And this page is also helpful because you have the option to also generate some customized reports based on some different values here. So where it says select an item, you'll be able to click that drop down, and then you're able to generate reports based on all of these topics, based on your users, groups, recipients, or activations. For example, you could generate a report of users that Their created date is before a specific date and time. You could also pick users whose email contains a specific word. So that's an option. You could also pick to generate a report for activations whose title contains a particular word, like maybe evacuation. And once you click search, it will pull in all of those values that met whatever criteria up here. So for example, I can tell that I've sent these 3 alerts that contain the word evacuation, and I can see the delivery dates of those and also when the alert was created. You can also export any of these reports as a CSV or a PDF if you do want to save it. But that was everything that I had planned to walk through with you all. I do see it looks like there is a question. So I will pass it over to Brooke if you want to read out some questions. Please feel free to put in additional questions if you have them as well.
Yes, so we got a question around duration. So what does the duration do within an AlertAware activation? And what does exactly expire after an hour?
That's a great question. So the duration determines how long the alert would show up as active in the AlertAware system. So if you are in the app, you'll be able to see this active notifications tile. So if you click here, I can see any of the alerts that are within that duration. Also, the system will attempt to successfully deliver that alert message for the duration, but it's not going to repeatedly send it for the full time. So even though I set that duration for an hour, I'm not sending out texts for an hour. As soon as it's delivered, it'll consider it successful. So don't worry about spamming people. It really is just how long it shows up in this active notification section.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. I don't see any other questions right now, but the chat is still open and the Q&A box is still available, so please send some in. I'm going to put some KB articles, knowledge base articles in the chat. One is the user guide for creating activations within AlertAware, so let me put that in now. And then another article we're going to have is the AlertAware user guide for activation details and metrics and reports. So the things that Sarah went through in the call today. So I'm going to put that in there as well. In addition, we have power lunches every Friday. Next Friday is going to be the leveraging custom event triggers. We do this one pretty frequently if you've already come to that, just because custom event triggers can be tricky and also they're used a lot. So I'm going to put that in the Zoom as well, chat as well. But if you are looking for any other AlertAware specific trainings, then the next one for that is going to be on the 2nd of May. And it's going to be around leveraging incident reporting with the 2-way chat in AlertAware. So I'll put both of those links in the chat for registering for the next power lunches. This one is for custom event triggers. And the next one I'm going to put in is for that AlertAware incident reporting feature as well on the 2nd of May. So we hope to see you then. I believe that's all that we have if I'm not seeing any other questions come in. So let me put this one in there. And once again, that is AlertAware incident reporting. Awesome. I think that both of those links work. Yeah, perfect. It's just weird that one is so long and one is so short, but that will work. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at trainingteam@alertis.com. And we're here for all of your Alertis and AlertAware needs. Hope this was helpful. Thank you again, Sarah. And we're here if you need any help.
All right. Thank you and have a great weekend.